Okay, so you straight up heel stomp someone in the head. That shit would hurt. Would it not? Like, you just come down on someone like that would hurt like crazy.
That might hurt. Yeah.
Man, a skull to the foot.
I don't know. Imagine you want to aim for maybe softer parts just to
like
help
the penis.
Yourself out. Yeah.
Like, you fucking heel kick someone right in the dick. You kind of like donkey kick them, so you turn yourself around and you're just like right in the dick.
Yeah,
that'd be
more or less.
Oh man, that'd be savage.
Cool. So that was a very abrupt beginning to EhCast Audio Edition.
EhCast Audio Edition. Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. It's gonna be weird and different. And I want to start off with a story, Kev.
Yeah.
So, you know this one. It's the legend of the moving cabinet.
Moving cabinet?
The moving cabinet, this story is being told.
Maybe I might have been a part of the story. Even.
Potentially, as the story says. That doesn't make any sense. But as the legend tells.
Yes, that's it.
Kevin of the land of the Prince Edward was present. So, okay. So years back, many a year ago, my grandfather made a cabinet. He had since passed, and all the grandchildren were like, they got to choose out specific things, and I chose this cabinet, which I learned today is called a jelly cabinet.
Did you just keep your jelly there? Is that what it's
I
meant
think
for?
it's specifically designed for jelly.
Interesting.
Really odd uses. See, this is why I think old people are kind of crazy. Like a jelly... a cabinet specific for jelly. Like, it's such an odd specification.
It is, yeah.
Or like the bread box. Go fuck yourself. Like, it's like there's...
I had a bread box that we used for bread.
Specifically for bread? Yeah. It's weird. I find it funny
nice.
that a bread box is like constantly used as a size of measurement. They're like, oh, it's about the size of a bread box.
Yeah.
I'm like, but how
feel like that
is used a bread box?
Kind of local, though.
Is it?
I feel like it's a local thing. Yeah, maybe our viewers can respond.
Oh shit!
Not,
yeah, let us know if the bread box thing is local, because I thought it was like a common thing.
Yeah.
I also noticed you have a bunch of unsharpened pencils. What are you gonna do with them?
I don't know. I had an old backpack that I had to empty out for traveling purposes, and I'm like, oh, what's in this backpack that I haven't used in school?
There's always old pencils.
I know.
Yeah, there's always like unused pencils.
There's like
backpacks.
pretty much a whole pack of them.
Every time I open up a backpack, I'm just like, God damn it. And you're just like, you're shaking them out. They're falling all over the place. Anyway, so this cabinet. So I was like, hey, I'm going to pick this up because I definitely need it. Didn't really have a use for it. Not a big jelly collector, as you would say.
As most aren't.
So then I'm like, hey, I'm going to be moving in with my buddies. Got to bring this thing with me. Duh. Found probably no use for it, so I just set it up beside Richard's door and kind of called it a day. Didn't think much of it. And then about a week went by. And I was like, I know it'd be funny. Put it in front of Richard's door. So then he woke up and he was in his way and it was a big inconvenience. Thought it was hilarious. Thought that was the end of the saga. But no. It kept going because the next morning I woke up and honestly, I should have expected it. It was then in front of my door.
Yeah.
Which was kind of in a hallway at the time. So it was a pain to get out of the way. And then it continued from there. And then the next one we did was when Richard started dating this girl. And we thought we'd get clever with it, me and JJ. So what we did was we drew up like a face on this cabinet. It was like, it looked like a fat person. Like it was kind of the size of like a fridge, I would say.
Yeah.
Like a decent sized fridge is what it was. And anyway, so we put a face on it. It's like, hey, honey, hubba, hubba. And we put it under his sheets on his bed. And I think we held like a sock on the doorknob or something. And we're like, man, you got a hot date in there.
That's a good touch.
You're going to have yourself a good time. He went in and he was like, you guys are assholes. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so then he got that out. And then I came back a couple days later, and I think you helped him out with this one. What was this? Because you were there for it.
Yes. So Nathan went on top of the bed. So we're like, what's the logical next step?
Obviously.
The bed.
Under the whole fucking frame, too.
So
I don't know how you guys did that.
Yeah, the whole thing got picked up. It got kind of like slid under there. Thing is, like, the bed frame had like little things sticking out of it, so it didn't really balance on it perfectly. And like, there was one corner that was kind of still in the ground. We're like,
it was very obvious.
Nothing's broken, but
because I went home and I was exhausted. I was just gonna go lie down. I look at it, I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like, it's all angled, but like you were kind of clever about it too, because I think you like draped the blankets down so it kind of covered it. And I was just like, this isn't right. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Jesus Christ.
Dying.
Anyway, so then I was like, oh man, I'm gonna get him back. So then I took it, put him in front of his door again. No, hold on, I know what we did. Then we waited until he was gonna go out to get fast foods. Old Maid Marian's.
Oh yeah.
Classic. And we took it and we put it in his bathroom, but we got it so close to the door that you pretty much couldn't open the bathroom door.
Yeah, so the door like opens up all the way open. It's like touching the bathtub, and then the other edge of it is pretty much against like a counter. So if you could get something wedged in there, like it's not pretty in there.
It's not going on. And see, Maid Marian's is great for just cleaning out the whole fucking system.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like Drano for people. It's just gonna it's gonna wipe it clean. Yeah, man. So I don't know how he got to the washer, but somehow he slithered his way through. Maybe he like had a supply of butter to just kind of like grease himself up and like slide his way through. But anyway, he made it through. So then I think I had to rush to work, and I was like, oh fuck, I gotta take a shower. So I ran in, turned the water on, didn't think much of it. I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound right. Open up the fucking cabinets in the goddamn shower. He put it in there himself. Don't even know how he did it.
I know, that's what's craziest.
And
because like it took both of us to get it out of there,
and
we spilled all the contents.
Yeah,
he didn't.
Because we tried to get it out, and I forgot it was full of shit. It was like it had an N64 and it had like a bunch of this nonsense. To fucking open it,
no jelly.
Tons of stuff just came. Oh
yeah,
man, it sucked.
That was a pain in the ass. Was that when it ended? Because we got real annoyed.
Yeah, I think I put it in front of your door a couple times, and then it was just like, this needs to go. So then we obviously took it to the fires Mount Doom and dropped it in. It's
the only way to get rid of a jelly cabinet.
Do it, yeah. Yeah, the one jelly cabinet to rule them all.
True.
So what's up, buddy?
Not too much. Nathan and I kind of have a big bang in that we're changing locations, hence the no video, because all that stuff is just packed away.
No, you know one know why there's no video?
Well, yeah, there's...
I'm a goddamn fool.
Yeah.
So we were using the fancy camera for a shoot that I can't tell you guys about yet, but you'll hopefully see it eventually. And anyway, so I was using the fancy camera, and that was great. And so then I took our camera, put it in the fancy camera bag, gave it back to the person, and kept the good camera because I'm stupid.
Yeah.
So now we don't have a good camera right now, which sucks.
Yeah.
But on the plus side, we should be able to get kind of our whole like studio set up at the new place, and the new channel will come into existence. Yeah.
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 We got one video down.
We do. You're close on it too, or in a second video, aren't you?
Pretty close.
Yeah. I've got one sort of in the works, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, we filmed a lot of stuff.
We didn't film that much, and I think we need to refilm it.
We filmed a lot because you got a haircut. Honestly, your hair's probably the same length now. So it's been so long. Literally, we filmed this thing like a month ago.
Yeah.
It was over a month ago. Holy shit balls, yeah.
Been a while, yeah.
It's been a good while.
Oh, been busy. With one thing that I can't talk about, unfortunately. And I don't know. I think we're semi-related. We're both planning to do a game jam some point in the future.
Yeah, I got to finish my course, but yeah, we're getting there. Of noteworthy things to talk about. For the first time, I went bouldering outdoors. If you haven't done this,
so explain
it's
bouldering because nobody knows what that is.
It's basically pebble wrestling. You just find a big rock and you climb it. So anyway, as some of you may know, I do some rock climbing because it's a fun thing to do. And a big crew of us went out. We heard of this island that people go climb on. So you pay this guy like $20, takes you over the island. The funny thing is though, I feel like he hates climbers because he's like these stupid fucking hippies. I just got to take him over, but man, he's making a kill. He easily makes like $20,000 a year.
Yeah,
just taking climbers
pretty
out.
Good.
But like, it's just straight up foolish. It's foolish because it's just like these idiots just go out with all their pads and their gear, the granola bars, and then they get all hot and they climb some rocks, get hurt, and then I take them home. Like, he probably thinks we're the biggest dummies, which maybe he's right. I don't know. But with bouldering, what you do is, so you don't use ropes or anything like that. You don't clip in, but you don't go or you shouldn't go too high. But there's some stuff called like highball, which is where you get into the spot of just don't fall. Yeah. That's what they say. So it's like, but what if just don't. But like, what should I do if I fall? how about you don't fall?
Yeah.
It's like when you're about 30 feet up, it's like, just don't fall, man. Like, just don't fuck up.
If you do, damage is happening. And
yeah.
It's nothing we can do about it at that point.
Best way to avoid it is just don't.
Especially when you're on an island that you need to get boated to and from.
Yeah, it was fun though. It was a blast. Like, it was really scary at points, but it was a good time. We towards the end of the day, it was just one route. It was pretty easy. It had an awesome name, the Orgasmatron.
Oh, beautiful.
The Orgasmatron, yeah, it was a great name. And so we're like, yeah, we're gonna rock this thing. It's a V0, which is a really easy route. It's just a crack layback climb. So basically, there's like a big like crack in the rock that you want to jam your hands into, and you want to kind of twist them a little bit. And then you want to lay back so that all your weight is on your arms, and you want to get your feet kind of flat on the wall if you can. So it feels like a very precarious situation if you're about to fall off, but it does give you a lot of rubber on the rock, which will allow you to have better surface area, better stick kind of to the wall. And anyway, but this one was high. It was probably about 27 feet high, I'd say.
Yeah.
And Matt's like, everyone's got to climb it. It's going to be awesome. So anyway, so I'm like, I'm stoked to climb this thing, and I'm ready to go. And then this girl goes up, and it was scary. Really scary. So like, I guess I didn't see someone take a big bail before that, but they did while I was off taking a pee. And anyway, so I came back, and she's climbing, and she's doing an awesome job, and she gets to the top out. So the top out is obviously the top of it. And it kind of has like a dip there where she got her thigh into. But because of that, she was unable to get the rest of her butt kind of over it.
Yeah.
And she was stuck there for, I would say, a solid 3 or 4 minutes.
Wow.
And she was, 27 feet up. If you're going to fall like that too, she would have rolled, probably fell on her face. It was a little freaky. I mean, we do have mats and things like that. We're not total idiots. We're pretty big idiots, though. But, yeah, so she was up there, and she straight up had a full-on panic attack. Like, she started, but like, it was the worst I'd seen, at least rock climbing, because she was like hyperventilating and crying and freaking out. And like, Matt, who was up there at the top, was like, I don't know what to do, because like, she's like, you just got to lift me up and take me. And like, he started to try, but then he started to kind of lose his footing.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't, like, because he doesn't want to go down face first, because it'll injure her and everyone else down there, and he'll probably break his face.
Yeah.
Which is not good, because your face is connected to your head and your neck and stuff. And I imagine he'd rather not do that. So luckily another guy was able to find another path up and then kind of work his way around and rock up and help her up. But I said fuck that to that route, because I was like, I don't know about that. Which I'm kind of happy I did say fuck that, because my buddy Lynn, she did sprain her ankle on it, which sucked. It was a pretty bad sprain too. It was like the size of a grapefruit by the time we got home.
Oh god.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a blast, dude. If you ever get the chance to go, seriously, do it. It's so much fun. So much fun. Definitely let my inner hippie out.
How so?
I just, I wasn't wearing shoes most of the day. I was eating peanut butter sandwiches. I was just like hanging out, being one with nature with a bunch of hippies. There was like 20 of us just sitting on rocks, just like, I was eating beans at one point, like snap peas and stuff, just like sitting there and be like, yeah. Man, this is the shit. Like, just getting my hippie on. It was good. It was good. Nice. The smell of pot just kind of wafted through the area. No one in my group was smoking, but there was someone smoking up definitely down the way a little bit.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good place to head out to a nice little rocky island.
It's pretty big, dude. I show you pictures yet? You saw the one on Facebook, probably.
I saw one on Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, man. It's gorgeous place. Gorgeous place. Like, if you didn't know you were in Nova Scotia, you'd think you were in Scotland. Like, just the way the rocks jut out and like
how...
Well,
they did call it New Scotland for a reason.
How about you go fuck yourself, bud? Huh? You piece of shit. My God, this guy, eh? Oh. It's like having the old Yeti. Just brings me back to when we started this channel and I hated you.
I'm like... No, there's no way you hate me less than you did.
You're right. Yeah, you got a point. Yeah, if you can't tell, we are recording on the Yeti because, fuck it.
Yeah, we needed an easy setup while things are in.
All the gears all over the place.
So yeah, I guess we could say a little bit more about the new place.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man.
So it's a little closer to town, which I don't think it's really that big of a deal because it's a 5-minute drive, as is most things in Charlottetown.
Yeah, it's a very small city.
Yeah, but being that a little bit closer is actually really good for the case of being drunk and walking, as I'm sure is going to happen. Cough Saturday.
We tend to drink a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, Saturday's gonna be a blast. You know what though? Okay, I was stoked on it. Now I'm a little less stoked on it because I was talking to my buddy.
Yeah.
Over at the wall, Lauren, and I was like, "Yo, man, are you stoked on Beer Fest? It's gonna be dope."
Yeah.
And she's like, I heard it sucked last year, and I'm like, oh, and it broke my heart. I was like, oh man, I was so stoked to go, and now I'm just like, way less stoked to go. But you were there last year. You said it was good.
I was there last year. Okay, I think we're good. Computer just went to sleep and we're like,
I was just like, oh my god, no.
It's hilarious. We have like the history graphs. It's like talking, silence.
Stop. Absolute silence.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I was there last year, and apparently it was a little bit worse for selection, but like
Murphys.
A lot of Murphys. There's some other stuff, but it's mostly just like, it's a small island, and it is a thing. Apparently, there are some rules that you can't. I heard this from a buddy of mine who went to the Halifax one, which is like a much bigger city close to here. And apparently it's not really worth it for a lot of them to go to PEI Beer Fest unless they're selling in the PEI liquor store, which is kind of difficult because, we don't have a huge amount of selection here. So, yeah, that's kind of one of the reasons not many people show up. But it is also a really good way for them to get into the PEI liquor store. Right. So what I did hear from him, because he went to like the Nova Scotia one, is that a lot of Nova Scotia brewers are actually going to be here this year.
Oh, really?
Yes. So I'm really excited for that. And
there's some great breweries in Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Even if there isn't, then I'm still really excited because you can't have that kind of experience anywhere else. You get to try a whole crap ton of beers. Yeah. And yeah, it's like special beers too, like special flavors and. It's just a good environment that you can't get anywhere else, so I'm happy for it.
And I have a question for you, because, like, I feel like it, but maybe I'm wrong just because I'm broadening my horizons more, but I feel like craft beers are popping up way more than they used to, like, in the past 7 years.
No, it is actually
It's been just, like, microbreweries everywhere.
It's gaining a lot of popularity, which is pretty sweet, because, if you compare the taste of, like, even, like, Upstreet Commons, right, that is a lager that is supposed to be kind of very similar to what inspired Budweiser. Yep. But like, do you want to have an Upstreet Commons or do you want to have a Budweiser?
Yeah, it's got so much more character, and it's just like the thing about Upstreet too is like I know the guy who makes it. Like literally, I hang out with them every second day. Like it's just like there's something about that, right? It's I don't know. It's a sense of full on community, and the fact that you can support local like that. I mean, it is more expensive, but it's better beer. Yeah. It's got a higher alcohol percentage. It's good shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think people are kind of like not really phased by the cost as much anymore.
It's not that much more.
It's this weird kind of mentality thing because honestly, I don't think people are quite drinking beer in quite the way that they historically did, like 10 to 20 years ago, where it was kind of just like, you buy a couple cases a week, you drink a few every night kind of thing. Yeah. Instead, it's kind of more like, oh, I'm having some beers out. Or, that kind of stuff. So you'll still end up having, like, I don't know, 8 beers a week.
But I mean...
But you're having much better beers in much kind of more social situations and stuff like that. So that's cool.
But that being said, I should correct you on something, because you're talking about our group and our type of people as though that's the majority, and that is not the case.
I know, but
that is not the case at all.
I'm kind of more, like, talking about how... like, these breweries have kind of sparked up, and you can go there to drink.
Because of our generation.
Yeah, have you seen, like, Upstreet Brewery? Parking lot's always packed. There's always people in there. Yeah. And, bars are diversifying what beers they carry because people want that.
Yeah, they want the more interesting beers. They want to be able to play board games at their bar. They want to have pinball machines. They want to do that weird shit. Yeah. That was awkward and kind of whatever. Like, that shit definitely wouldn't have really flew back 20 years ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? You'd have, like, the record player and, like, 20 years ago. God, I'm dumb. Back in 96, the record player. Yeah. They had CDs then, right?
Yeah, I think CDs were kind of just about.
Stupid Nathan. Oh, my gosh. What a guy.
That's kind of funny. We're very, very close to 20 years ago being 2000, which is scary.
You shut your damn mouth. You shut your damn mouth, sir. I'm feeling old. And, like, I said that the other day I was filming. They're like, how long's your grandmother lived in Boston? And I was like, well, 20 years. I'm like, oh my God. Because, like, I remembered when she moved, and I'm like,
yeah.
What the hell? And then I was hanging out with this guy. He's like 39. He's like, don't tell me you think that makes you old. I'm like, but it does. Like, I can say 20 years ago, and I can remember that distinctly.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it is weird. I was talking to a coworker today, actually, about Digimon.
Yeah.
And she was talking about the new one. It has the same characters, but it's kind of more mature and darker and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, most of the people who watch it are almost 20 years older now. Right? That's a thing you can say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, we're really not that far off from some of our childhood things having, like, their 20th year anniversary, like Pokemon and stuff, like.
Yeah. And, like, saying that makes me think of... Because, like, every decade has a style. What was the style of the 2000s? Because, I mean, we both, sure, we kind of grew up in the 90s, but for the most part, we were 2000 kids.
Yeah.
Like, you're 8 by the time it ended. You were just kind of getting some shit under your boots. But, like, in the 2000s, when we both grew up, what was even the style? Honestly,
I don't know. I feel like
I
it was
wasn't
just
too trendy,
like...
so I never really caught up on that.
I think it's always been kind of, like, noticed as, like, not having a style unto itself.
Until, like, 20 years later.
If I look back on it, I would say it's probably, like, naivety with technology.
Yeah.
It's kind of the whole theme of it. Because, like, we didn't realize how big the internet would be. Like, it just freaking grew in that 10 years. And, like, cell phones went from these crappy flip phone things. I'm not even sure if flip phones were around, you know. They were big, like,
yeah, they
blocky
were.
things.
Yeah, in 2000.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so. But yeah, they went from flip phones to, like, I don't know, what was 2010? The iPhone 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the iPhone 1 came out in, like, 2005.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. But my mind immediately goes to, like, spiked up hair. Like, hair gel for the 2000s. Like, I just think of American Pie, the Shermanator. That guy, in my mind, just, like, is perfect 2000 man.
Yeah.
Like, he's so good.
Yeah, I used to spike my hair when I was a kid.
I think we all did, Kev. And you'd get, like,
get
the got-to-be gel in there. And you know what I'm talking
about?
Got-to-be gel.
Good stuff.
Oh, fuck. You could impale your head through a board if you wanted with that stuff. It was just, like, as hard as a rock.
It had a smell to it, too. Like,
it
anybody who was wearing it that smelled like it is...
Yeah, and then the Axe body spray became big then.
Oh, God.
Yeah, where guys would just literally just...
Remember, like, gym class, walking out of the locker rooms and, like, be, like, coughing by the end of it. Yeah. Everybody was spraying their Axe. Oh, God.
And, like, girls acted like they liked it, but I don't think they did. How could they?
It hurt the nose to, like...
Yeah, it would just, like, it would burn if you would smell it.
Burn, yeah.
Yeah. God, we were dumb. Like, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I think all kids kind of dumb, though. Dumb stuff. It works on them because they don't know any better.
Yeah. And everything feels new and amazing and awesome.
Yeah.
So then you look back at it with nostalgia. And then people sell you nostalgia when you have money.
Yep.
Economy. That's how it works,
Pokemon
man.
Go.
Absolutely Pokemon Go. And did you see that extra credits video?
Yes.
That was awesome.
It is. Yeah, they proposed a very interesting game that kind of works the same way.
But it's so simple what he proposed, too.
Simple, and it doesn't have the flaws that Pokemon Go has.
But, like, okay, so he said it... Okay, but what he said was kind of like a Facebook post, if you know what I mean. Like, it had, like, some half-truths to it. It's like, we just do this, and then this, and then this, and it's that easy. And then idiots repost, and they're like, why are we not funding this? When, you know what I mean? You're not really getting into the...
I think it's just, like, most people don't have the realization that an idea alone is
worth shit. Absolutely worthless. And that's why he put it out there, Dan from Extra Credits. Like, he's just like...
There's no value to what he said. And
that's what I get a kick out of people that know nothing about games. I'm like, so what's your game idea? They're like, oh, I can't tell you. I'm like, dude, I don't care what your mama told you. Your idea ain't worth shit. No one gives a fuck what your idea is unless you can do something with it.
Yeah. You know, I've seen a really good example of this, especially related to games and game design. So there's a guy who's been doing YouTube videos for a long time with Super Smash Bros. Melee. And he's just done like weird hacky things, like what if this character had this character's move, or moved like this character, you know?
Yeah.
Just kind of these silly things. But apparently he's actually quite interested in game design, so he's like, okay, let's rebalance Super Smash Bros. Melee so that all 26 of the characters are viable.
Oh shit.
And actually kind of competitive and stuff. So he started with some like really weak characters, and you know he got a lot of like kind of negative feedback because like people are like, oh, they're not as good as Fox. Oh, this isn't good. You should have buffed this and this and this, and like he at the beginning of each of his videos he has to like kind of be like, do you know what? I'm not balancing this in a way that all the characters are good as Fox, because that's not interesting. I'm not making characters powerful. I'm making them not bad. Yeah. And there's a big kind of difference there. And he's, you know, he has to explain this to people at the beginning of every video. And he's like, yes, I'm planning to actually take Fox and make him worse to bring him down to this level. And, you know, he has to, like, explain why doing that makes a better game than just making everybody strong. Because, you know, it actually leads to kind of interesting choices. And, you know, you have to balance off. Like, characters still have weaknesses. Is basically the thing that he's going for. Yeah. It's the thing that they're not weaknesses that are causing them to be completely unplayable.
Because it seems like with so many fighting games, it's like they give you a roster of like, whatever, 30 characters. Yeah. And then in high level play, you only ever see like maybe 4 different characters. Yeah. Like 4 to like 6. Yeah. It's like, because everyone else is just like, why would you play as this character? You're wasting your time.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a bit of a theory about that. It's a couple parts to it. I think one big part is that if you're balancing a game, it's easier to balance a small section of it than it is to balance a large thing. Right. So if like you have a game, you have 4 characters that are the best, but they're balanced and they're kind of trading between each other, then that's, I don't know, it's a balanced game in the end. Right. Because, you know, people don't have freedom of choice of characters, but in the end, you know, the character isn't going to decide who wins. Yeah. So, you know, that kind of creates a balanced game that way. But another part to it is actually, if you're having a competitive game with characters with like specific movesets or, you know, anything kind of like that, where there's knowledge to what your opponent's like playing. Yeah. Then the more characters there are, the harder it is to gain all that knowledge.
Because there's so many options.
Yeah, so that's like a bigger barrier to entry to people and makes competitive play like that much more random because, you know, maybe you forgot about this quirk with this character and stuff. Yeah. And I think that's, you know, that's pretty much the entirety of what a League of Legends competitive scene actually relies on. Yeah. Is knowing what other characters can do. Because the actual playing, like mechanically playing the game, quite easy. You're mostly just clicking, you know, there's a couple mechanics where you have to aim a little bit, but...
I'm not saying the game is simple, but just
playing the game
the act of just playing the game, simple. Yeah. Very difficult to master, but...
Yeah, and a lot of the choices you get in the game with, like, you know, buying items or whatever, like... Those choices actually, there's perfect choices there. Yeah. Right? It's not like this, I have to decide this now thing. So really all the competition there is who better knows how all the characters on the field interact currently. Right. And, you know, that's fine as a competition thing, but that doesn't mix with like a fighting game where it's very technical movements, very quick decision making and stuff like that.
Yeah, and being able to quickly look at your opponent and be like, they're using this type of character. I know exactly what kind of situations they're going to get me into and how I can get out of them. And like, you know things about that character. And like, some people get really adept with it too. I mean, as you would know, like with the specific frames that particular attack can go over. And like, it's ridiculous how in-depth people will get with some of those characters. And when you have... So, I mean, would there really be any benefit to, let's say, having 30 viable characters in a game like that? It would be, I feel like it'd be too hard to master.
It'd be too hard, too overwhelming. It'd be like too much of, I'm not very experienced against that character, so I lost. Yeah. Even if, like, you know, person A loses to person B because they're not familiar with the character, but person A is a significantly better player, technical-wise. So then, like, you know, is that really fair?
So then that being said... Is there really any benefit to these fighting games having these 30 character rosters and these large amounts? I mean, I feel like they have it for sales.
Yes, as with most things in video games, it is in the game and that's just, because it's a very good bullet point on the back of the box.
Yeah, you can play as these 30 different guys. Yeah. That's awesome, and they all do their own unique animations, and that's fantastic. So maybe, I feel like this isn't the case, but maybe it is, that they toss all these characters in, but they toss some of them in just being like, this character isn't going to be as good as this character. We're going to toss in like 23 shit characters and there's going to be 7 good ones. Like, do you think that's part of the... Not shit characters, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do think they have kind of... I think what it comes down to is they make the pool of characters and they see which character is the most interesting, and then they make sure that those characters are kind of the decent ones. And if those are the decent characters, like, or if those are like the funnest characters to play, then it should make those decent. Interesting just in the way that, you know, they're all kind of unique from each other. Because this is the other part of it. If you have a huge character selection, is there's probably some mechanical overlap in there, you know, a couple like clone characters, as they're called, and stuff like that. Yeah. Which isn't near as interesting if you have characters that play differently and stuff like that.
Like a Ryu and a Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, you want those characters with very different mechanics to be the ones that are all competing with each other, because that makes things more interesting in general. So, you know, they pick their favorite from that. They make sure those characters are all good balance. And then the rest they're just kind of more loose with. Right. Every once in a while, you know, they'll get surprises where, you know, some character ended up being way stronger for whatever reason. But we're in the age of patches, so that gets solved.
Right, yeah. I mean, things get nerfed all the time and people get upset about it. It's whatever, but it's in an attempt to make a better game.
Yeah.
Whether or not it makes a better game, that's, I guess, to be determined. It's really... I mean, a better game is so subjective.
There's
no
so
objective better game.
Really, the people who are making games are going to decide what a better game is just simply by how much it sells.
Yeah.
That's the only kind of rating of a game, is how many boxes did you ship.
I would say that more comes down to the publisher rather than the people making
it. That's more publisher kind of company type thing. Yeah. But, you know, it is really important. If you want to be making more games, you have to sell games.
Yeah. And that's just that's just the way the business works. I get a kick out of people that are like, I was talking to a guy the other day about No Man's Sky. And I said in the last video I wasn't going to get into it, but I'm going to get into a little bit here. Because, so what he said was that Sean Murray said a bunch of things were going to be in the game, and they weren't.
Yeah.
I find that debatable. I think Sean Murray's kind of not a pie in the sky guy, but he's like, I would love to have this, and I would love to have, and I think people misunderstand him saying, this would be great, and I think they misunderstand that with, this is going to be in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just, he would like it to be like this, but it's not necessarily
it's weird. Everything that people, like, kind of point out to try to use as evidence against him, they just use kind of very vague answers that he gave, or old things.
Yeah, really old things before they lost literally all their work.
Yeah.
And, so anyway, so then he said, so the guy I was talking to, which is he's pretty knowledgeable about games, but he kind of falls into this, like, just this consumer that I hate. And I've talked about this kind of consumer a lot and throughout the podcast. It's the consumer that feels like they deserve everything because they're putting forth their money. And I mean...
The entitled gamer.
The entitled gamer. And I despise the entitled gamer. And anyway, so what he was saying was that he thinks Sean Murray was trying to hype it up like this and make it this big thing for the money. And he's like, and that just really upsets me that he would try and do it like that for the money. But it's like, well, what the fuck do you think? Like, he's trying to make money. It's a business.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just where art and business combine.
Yeah.
Because games are art. I mean, whether or not you're willing to accept it, it is what it is. But it's where the two combine. And I think people have trouble differentiating the two. The fact that, yes, it is something that someone made a passion, but they need to eat.
Yeah.
They need to put food on the table. They need to, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No Man's Sky and the Entitled Gamers got me very, very angry the past couple of weeks. It's like, just looking at Reddit, it's just freaking hilarious considering, like, before launch, everybody's like, oh, this game's overhyped. And, like, just a little bit before that, people are like, what are you even doing in this game? It's like, there's pretty obvious freaking warning signs that, like, hey, you should make sure this is a game you want to play before you buy it. But a bunch of people just bought it blindly.
Yeah.
And And then after the fact, they're blaming marketing. And it's like, no, this is your own choice. There was not that much marketing for the game.
It's the gamers that hyped it up.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, they said a cool tagline, but you can't blame them for saying a cool tagline of like, this is your universe. Do with it what you want. And essentially it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think people just got in their own heads about it. Like, I can do anything. I can, you know what I mean? Where it's like, no, you can't
People
do
always
anything.
buy that promise, though. Like, you know, it's
been
been
done
No
in so
Man's
many other
Sky,
games.
it's been Spore, it's been every single fucking Fable game.
Yeah, like...
A bunch of other things Peter Molyneux's tagged his name to. I don't know why people think that they're going to get a game where they can do anything they want in it.
Because that's not realistic.
You
right
have
now.
real life, experience that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not realistic right now. It may be in the future when we get to some really interesting computation and AI and things like that, with where the game learns you or something like that. But as of right now, it's not feasible. There's only so many things that they can program into the game where they're like, maybe the player will try this, maybe the player will try that.
Yeah.
But like, they can't expect you to want to start a mariachi band or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they just...
Yeah.
There are only so many resources that can be tapped. And I feel like some people fall back on it, but it's a 14-man team.
I know.
Like, what do you expect?
I don't know. They made a system. You can do anything you want in that system. And it's like, it's huge. It's great. And I don't know. I don't know why people expect more than what they got. From what I've seen, at least I haven't played it yet myself.
Yeah. I saw 20 hours and I had a good time.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if I'll play it again, but fuck, like that's the way I play the games. Like, I literally did that with Witcher as well. I sunk 30 hours into it. I'm like, good, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you get your experience out of it. If like you had fun, then you had fun.
Yes. Then it was worth the time and the money and everything.
Oh, another thing that pisses me off is like the people are like, if I don't get $1 per hour value out of my game, what the fuck? Are you kidding me right now? Just because there's more time you put into something doesn't mean it's a better experience.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't. It doesn't make it necessarily a better experience. Like, let's look at what's something that's a classic experience, like Journey. If Journey was 10 hours long, it would suck. That game would suck.
Yeah. It would be way too long. It would make it worse.
The fact that it's a 90-minute experience, you can sit down, you can digest it all in one sitting.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That is great. And it didn't have a super low price point. And that was fine because it was worth
it was like
price
20 or $30 or something.
Right?
Yeah.
It's more like, the entire experience that you're going to get out of it, is it worth the price point? And, you know, a lot of the times it's a freaking weird question to ask. Because if I look at like freaking Notepad++ that I have in my computer, I've had that open using it for like, I don't know, probably multiple days worth of my life.
Yeah.
And it's free. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Why the fuck am I playing video games? I should just have Notepad++ open.
Yeah, because you get your value.
Yeah, right? It just doesn't make sense. Like, no, I would rather play Witcher than be messing around in Notepad++ writing some friggin' bullshit. Like,
yeah, I just get a kick out of that, man.
Yeah.
I don't know, and people want so much out of a game when like a game has like a 12-hour campaign, and they're like, oh, it's a little disgusting that they only put 12 hours into it. They're just greedy and want the money, and it's like, no, that's not necessarily how it works.
No, they had a vision and they executed on it. Probably.
And following from that, it's something else. I'm just getting ranty today.
Okay, fair enough.
Something else I really dislike is just people boiling down something so simple into something so simple where it's just, that's not the way it can be. Like, if you're not willing to accept that there are more aspects going on to something, then you're a fucking idiot. I mean, I don't think there's any other way I can approach something like that. Like,
I feel like this is getting worse and worse. I see it as like the kind of like black and white phenomenon. People are just saying just seeing everything as kind of black and white.
Yeah.
You know, as a true or false. They're not like actually digging deeper and seeing any of the complexities to it and stuff. Like, there's so many like freaking weirdnesses you see in games. Like, oh, why did this mechanic get removed or whatever? And it's kind of like, there was freaking hours of meetings guaranteed to, like, you know, people organizing why they're going to remove that and like making sure it's the right decision and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's people who know more about games than the freaking consumers ranting about it.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, key example right now, Niantic.
Yeah.
Where you have Pokemon Go and people are like, oh, they're just trying to make the game shitty and they're not telling the consumer anything. Well, actually, they made the game run better.
Yeah.
And shutting down Pokevision was like a large percentage of what was actually using up their network.
Yeah.
But no, you don't want to look into something like that. You just want to say, oh, they're making the game shitty. And the fact that they're not talking to consumers, oh, they got their money and they don't want to talk. No, that's probably not the case.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk to any fucking game developer and they want to tell people about their shit. They don't want people to hate their game.
Yeah.
They don't want people to tell them that. I almost guarantee there's probably some type of contract when they're dealing with Nintendo or something like that where they're not allowed to
it's pretty common.
talk like that. Or
it's pretty common in like kind of licensed relationships is that all of the communications need to be kind of approved by the licensor. So like in the case of Niantic, it would be Nintendo, or the Pokemon company, I guess. And Niantic have to like agree on a communications to send out. That's not quick.
No, it's not quick at all. And there's a lot of political bullshit that goes on with that.
Yeah, you're still in office environments. Like, I don't know, if you want to see how things work, go freaking watch Office Space. Like, imagine trying to make a game in that environment. Like, obviously, it's not going to be like the jolly-go-lucky kind of vision you get when you think of somebody making a video game. Yeah. You know, it's not like those freaking 80s TV commercials for, oh, become a video game tester. Yeah. Tighten up the graphics on level 3. Like, it's not like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then, like, when you complain about something, let's say there's a bunch of people complaining about something, and they don't respond to you within, like, maybe even less than, like, a week, and you're like, oh, they're not even looking into it. I guarantee there's a large amount of people looking into that issue. They just can't, because what are they really going to gain from telling you that? Yeah. They're like, oh, we're looking... They just seem stupid.
Thing is, if you
like,
tell
what's going on here? You don't want to say, I don't know. You want to determine what the issue is and then say to the person, okay, well, what we understand is this and we're going to change it because of this. You can offer them a solution.
Yeah, and then, you know, just saying, we'll fix it soon. That's not good. This is going to piss people off and say, we'll fix it soon. Why not fix it now? You're doing this other stuff.
Yeah, you got my money, now you're doing this.
Of course our artists are drawing stuff while our programmers are fixing this bug.
Yeah, like, why would we make the artists try and do some coding? Like, that doesn't make sense.
It's just... Yeah, that's a lot of silly entitlement stuff that comes back around is, you know, people thinking that the whole team's focus should be on fixing this one issue that this one player has.
Yeah, but it's like, silly. Why the fuck would the artist do that? Yeah. Or the game designer has nothing to do with that. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all.
Why would we halt expansion development when there's just one bug that's affecting 1% of the user base?
Yeah, like we have the people that can do it working on it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's... That kind of stuff pisses me off. And something else pisses me off that's kind of similar to that is, I imagine you've seen him on Facebook because you're a person. Yeah. And David Avocado Wolf. Have you seen this individual? Yeah. He has a lot of posts. He had one the other day that just sent me over the edge. And it was this guy, and it said, oh, this guy made a windmill out of recycled parts out of his country, for his country in Nigeria, and he's not famous because the media doesn't want him to be. Yeah. We should repost this. And I just did a quick Google search of his name. The motherfucker wrote a book. He was on The Daily Show. He had tons of... And the picture that they used was from a fucking long time ago. This happened back in 2002. Yeah. And they're posting about it now, being like, oh, I'm just bringing awareness. No, you're not. Yeah. You're stroking your
it's like the false, like,
it makes people feel
public
good.
Activism.
Yeah, like that social justice warrior bullshit. Yeah. Where they think they're actually causing some good or doing something like that when they're just feeding into the bullshit and they're not willing to actually look at anything past a simple picture with some text on it and being like, oh, me resharing this makes me a good person. And
not willing to learn or try and find out what's going on for real instead of, you know, whatever feels good, makes you feel good, makes you feel like you're a good person.
Yeah, because it's so easy to say, oh, the media's just doing this. Yeah. Go fuck yourself. Like, something that boiled this down to me was, so I was talking to this person, I met someone who's exactly like this. Like, they would repost that Facebook bullshit. And so anyway, so we're talking about GMOs, which if you don't know, they're genetically modified organisms. And I'm not going to get into the specific science of it. If you want to check it out, I'm sure Hank Green did a great video on it. I'm sure he did on SciShow or something. And he probably can explain it much better than I can. But basically, it comes down to selecting specific genes for organisms that would make them I mean, you can do a variety of things. You can make them bigger. You can make them better in, let's say, colder climates or more resistant to certain type of like bugs or something like that, or just more resistant, and so potentially to increase yield and size.
Yeah,
that's usually what it comes down to. And so we explained this to her, and we're talking about how a lot of it tends to be government funded and things like that because, well, you know, more food, good for the people. Being able to make it at lower costs, also good for the people. And we explained this to her at the end, and her takeaway from this is she literally looks at me and like, I just fucking laughed in her face because she looked at me and she said, so what you're telling me is we're all infected. And I'm like, how the fuck can you get that from what I just said? Like, it's just so much more exciting for there to be this big conspiracy going on. With something, like people saying that we didn't land on the moon or that there's super powered spaceships that we have aliens here and we don't. It's not like that. Like, if you spend time with scientists or like saying they have the cure to cancer and they're not going to give it out, that's fucking bullshit. Yeah. Because you see those people like putting their lives into this particular product, and if they fucking cured cancer, it would be out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, that pisses me off.
It's just Occam's razor. People need to start applying it to things
exactly.
that they think.
The simplest answer is most likely the right one.
Yeah.
It's... And they like to get all ridiculous. Like something else like this too is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, which I imagine a lot of you maybe know about this.
Yeah.
It's so a couple years ago you'd pour a bucket of water on your head and you'd give $10 to the ALS Foundation.
Yep.
And you know it raised a decent amount of money, $2 million.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, in
it was
the tens
good.
of millions.
It was like a 300% increase from their normal.
Yeah, absolutely, a large amount.
Yeah.
And then a breakthrough came out not too long ago. And it was like, hey, we actually found something. And then, of course, the media outlets went crazy with it. And they're like, the LS Ice Bucket Challenge actually did something. And it's going to be a massive improvement for all of ALS. And they may have found the cure. But then you actually look into some peer-reviewed journals and notice that particular strain of ALS only impacts 4% of people with ALS. And it's a small progress point. It's like science doesn't happen like a fucking breakthrough and it just breaks everything down. It's like chip damage is the way things like that work. And there's small breakthroughs that lead to culminate in massive achievements. And I'm not saying that to try and get rid of what we've done, because what has happened in the last 100 years is absolutely amazing with scientific advancements, but it's not one man usually.
I think it's
not one
been
person.
A lot of media just like, I don't know, at least that I grew up with, and I'm sure you've noticed the same
thing.
The whole kind of Eureka thing.
Yeah.
Like, Eureka is like a famous word kind of associated with science and breakthroughs and stuff, but Eureka doesn't happen. It's never happened. Even the friggin' story about Eureka, I think it was like figuring out... Gravity.
Yep.
Right.
When the apple hit him on the head. That's a nice tagline, right? But, I mean, there were many more people that were involved in something. It's so simple to boil it down to one person doing this when there was like a whole team behind it. Yeah. And a whole group of scientists working together for 30 years on something. You know what I mean? Like it's... And then you boil it down to, one person did this. Sure, it's a sexy story, but it gives the wrong idea of how things like that work. It's unrealistic expectations. It's and then
improper view of the world and how it works.
And then that also lends itself to people thinking that science is bullshit sometimes. Whereas the actual scientific process is literally just observing and writing shit down.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not an ideology. It's not I get a kick out of people where they're like, you can believe in science, I'll believe in it. There's nothing to fucking believe in. It's if you can data. See it happen, then you're able to go on that. If it's reproducible results.
Yeah.
God damn, that shit pisses me off.
There's a lot of dumb people out. I think Facebook has facilitated that. And their voices.
Don't even get me started on Tumblr either. That's... Fuck you, Tumblr. Bye, guys.